In a world where the fiction is written by the fans, you are now entering the Fanfiction Zone. I'm your host, Matthias720.
I'm Drew.
I'm
Adam.
Katie.
I'm Pete. And yes, that was... Yeah, we have Drew back! Yay!
Yay!
It's been
Welcome,
too
Drew.
long.
Since I screwed up your podcast.
No worries. Jeremy is out this week, folks. Unfortunately, he has a bad case of broken computer. So,
Sad.
Is it terminal?
I don't know. Based on how he described in the email, yeah, it might be. So, at least for his computer. But for now, it's just, we're back to these, if it isn't already freaking obvious. This is the second fanfiction special. Part 1. Yes, there's going to be a 2-part episode. What that second part episode, well, you'll have to stay tuned and find out. But we took a break from Bellmaker Book 3, which I totally started and haven't completely ignored. I don't know what you're talking about.
Sure.
I'm almost finished with it because I am a nerd.
Nothing wrong with that. But yeah, I haven't touched it yet, and then we're on to Salamandr's Run after that. So, fun times.
Sweet.
But as is our tradition here, we once a year, traditionally around April Fools, we tend to look at fan efforts in all their glory. And boy, what a fandom.
Ouch.
We're looking at the good.
Those are knowing laughs.
We're looking at the bad, but we're not looking at ugly.
Hey,
If
the
you
Redwall
missed our-
fandom, in my experience, has been very lovely. So,
Yes. If you missed our episode last year, some prelude here to this on what we set our own rules to be. First of all, we're not looking at anything that's more adult or more violent than the main series. We tend not to do explicit shipping fics where we can, mostly because while we respect people want to make them sit down and make them kiss, it's Brian Jakes himself did not do a lot of relationship building, so it's almost kind of takes away from the natural tone of the series. And we got one suggested fic this year. That was kind of awesome, just like last year. Man, I don't know how we keep getting only one person volunteering their stuff every year, but hey, whatever works.
was it the same person as last year?
No, because last year was Captain Tamo, who has been on this show.
Oh, he's slacking.
This is a completely new person.
Well, that's good.
Yep. And yeah, we'll bring it up when we get to him. But so we kind of delved into the internet, and what did we find? A lot of fun stuff. Look through our
scary internet.
Drew probably found the most unusual ones that we cannot cover on the show.
Oh my goodness, I wish we could.
I know.
We need an After Dark episode.
Don't make coffee come out my nose.
I would be down with that.
Because I think that with this podcast, just throughout the course of it for around a year and a half, we found so much random adult content about Redwall that there's a lot to talk about. But of course not here. The children are listening.
Yes, Dibbins might be listening, and won't someone think of the Dibbins?
Oh, people have thought of the Dibbins.
Yeah, you can stop right there.
Putting the brakes on that.
Yeah, Papa Abbott card. Come on. But for the most part, we kind of hung around. We had a lot of fun. But before we get to that, I believe someone had a game in mind.
Yeah, I put together a little game for us. I want to see if the keen ears of our professional podcasters could tell the difference between fan fiction right or the writings of Brian Jakes. So if everyone could have a piece of paper ready, and I will play some audio clips. I can't read very well on command, so I kind of pre-recorded each of these clips, and there'll be a little pop when I switch inputs, but it should play fine. I'll play a clip, and you just write down whether or not you think it's fan fiction or it's Redwall.
I'm so excited.
I've got 5 of them. Is everyone ready?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm going to play the first one.
Mossflower Country lay bathing in the radiant summer sun. A mild breeze blew through an open window at Redwall Abbey, carrying hints of fruits from the orchard and freshly baked bread from the kitchen. The abbot stood at the sill and closed his eyes, feeling the warmth of the noontide sun on his face. The abbot was a large, fit mouse, even in his old age. His gray whiskers twitched as his peaceful solitude was interrupted by 3 timid knocks at his door.
That's that one played.
All right.
So
Are we gonna say our answers
don't
after?
tell us
or...
don't tell us the answer here. Let the debating again. I'm gonna vote fan fiction. Abbots are never fit.
I'm also gonna vote fan fiction because I'm not sure Brian Jakes ever described a mouse as fit.
I'm gonna go Redwall, just to be a contrarian.
Okay.
Yeah, he and I are about to get dunked on.
I'm gonna go fan fiction just because, yeah, I don't remember any abbots being fit.
I mean, you might argue sexist because he's on the younger side, but yeah, I'm not gonna go. I don't buy it.
Okay, it was fan fiction.
Yeah.
From a story of Mossflower. That one was called. All right. So I'm going to play another one. This will be number 2.
Some were of the opinion a were-rat was part weasel, part water-rat. No beast knew. One thing was beyond doubt, however. A were-rat was the embodiment of nightmare, with a vicious nature that knew no bounds. It reveled in blood and death.
That's that one. Debate.
Redwall. I know where that one's from.
Me
Okay,
too, Redwall.
I would say maybe don't say what it is, in case we need a tiebreaker.
Was that werette or actual were-rat? Like, something really bad Stephanie Meyer thinks up.
Both, Omi.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Redwall. If I'm betting that's supposed to be werette from Manameo.
I think it's Redwall, but it's not from Matameo. It's from one of the later books.
Yeah, that sounds like some Doomlight shenanigans right there.
Which I have not read yet, so.
I think it's Loamhedge.
Oh, is it really?
Okay.
I think it's
one,
Rogue
Katie?
Crew. Rogue Crew.
Rogue Crew. So 2 points for Katie.
Oh my goodness, we could put it the entire beginning of Rogue Crew, and everybody would guess fan fiction. Rogue Crew is a garbage fire. It was also not written directly by Brian Jakes, so we can say that without being blasphemous.
Well, I'll take your word for it. Because again,
it was partially written, wasn't it?
It was published based on his notes, but where most of the Redwall books are essentially like written in flowery language, but to be read for children, this one was written in like super basic English, except somebody gets burned alive within the first 2 pages.
Huh.
Spoilers for the first 2 pages.
Okay, who hired George R. R. Martin for this series?
Lord,
yeah, there
I
was
wish.
definitely something very, very jarring about it as I was reading. I was like, this does not feel right.
A song of mice and fire.
Oh.
Damn on him.
For what's worth, it's been almost 10 years since I read that, so not 10 years. How long? No, we passed 2011. Long enough. I read it like twice, and that was it. So it's been forever, and I honestly wanted to forget about it, kind of keep it at a distance. That was why.
I tend to reread it with my Redwall rereads because I'm sort of a completionist, if that's a word. Like, I like to read all of them.
Oh, it's totally a word. And like I've said on this show, I'm actually disciplining myself and not rushing through the series, because the last thing I want to do, having worked so hard to get this thing off the ground, I won't call us popular. We are, some of our episodes are hitting 100 listens per episodes, and that's awesome.
Heck
but
yeah.
Yes,
But-
high five to you for your editing and stuff.
the last thing I want to do is burn myself out
Right.
in the way I did as a kid, and I stopped reading about Tagarung, maybe? So, I think so. And that was when they were still coming out. But, okay, let's get to number 3.
Number 3.
The Blade Master cleaved the air with his own special sword. It was a particular hybrid, longer than other rapiers, honed razor-sharp on both edges, with a cross-basketed hilt. The blade was thicker than that of a rapier, but superbly tempered to give it flexibility.
Okay.
Tough call.
Oh, that's
Tough call
hard.
on this one.
Redwall.
Okay. I mean, my mind ran to Inigo Montoya and maybe someone trying to kill Swart Sixclaw, but I don't know. How is that not a fan fiction already?
I'm sure it is. We just haven't found it.
I
I was thinking about Rackety Tam when that played. But
I'll go Redwall because I'm trusting the judgment of the community.
dang, but the term sword master is, I'm gonna say not.
I could see it being an office at Salamandastron. I could, but not sure.
Yeah, maybe actually. I'm sticking to it.
Did you vote, Katie?
I was waiting till last because it's Redwall from Sable Queen.
Oh.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Wow, Katie, gosh darn.
I'm a
Yeah,
nerd.
it's right.
I told you.
Okay, bonus points. Can you tell us which character it is?
Buckler Cordine.
Correct.
Okay, I'm gonna have to splice in public domain like applause after everyone she gets right here. So,
Pressure.
Under pressure.
all right, let's have number 4.
Number 4.
Rain fell from the sky in heavy sheets, and the wind blew fiercely strong. A rat sat in the entranceway of a cave dug into the side of a hill, watching the storm calmly, his red eyes unblinking. His cloak wrapped tightly around his thin body with the hood up to keep the cold out. Thunder rolled loudly, and lightning crashed in the sky above, but he did not care, for he feared no storm.
That one.
That's a tough one. I'm gonna go fan fiction.
One for fan fiction.
I'm gonna say
Fanfic.
fanfiction. I'm probably wrong though.
So it's the person who's gotten the last 3 correct.
Oh, that was everyone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this was Understanding Loyalties, fan fiction.
Oh yay!
Everyone is right.
Hooray!
And now we'll do the last one, number 5.
A huge arrow the size of a javelin appeared from the night sky and smashed into a rat, ending its life. Woodlander and vermin alike stared at the corpse of the rat, shocked beyond reckoning. A massive female badger walked out of the hills as the sun rose, an arrow notched to her bow. "Your end is near," the badger roared, and shot her bow.
Totally Redwall, and I think I know which book.
I'm gonna say fanfic.
I'm gonna say fanfic. I don't remember a female badger with a bow.
I'll go fanfic.
That was everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That was fan fiction, A Warlord's Demise.
Oh.
All right.
I
Yay.
thought it was Bella in Mossflower, but say Livy.
It wasn't easy to find like good fan fiction that still kind of sounded a bit like real Redwall. I had to skim quite a few.
Oh, you poor soul.
I hope y'all had fun.
Yes, as
That was
Yeah.
awesome.
I don't think we even have the count, right? Katie won.
Oh God, yeah.
Yes.
Good job, Katie.
yay.
All right.
Is
So
everyone-
that just. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to ask, is everyone else brave enough to reveal what their score was?
I was 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
I was also
same.
4 out of 5. Yeah.
God, we're
Okay,
nerds.
so we didn't do bad. We did pretty
No.
great.
No, we didn't do bad at all. All
It was
right.
that dank Sable Queen knowledge that propelled KD above the rest of us mortals.
Well, I was right in calling it that. Maybe we needed the real titles for a tiebreaker.
And
Good.
that'd be my bird clock. Sorry if you can hear that.
No, I think we're good.
Okay.
Anyway, let's actually get to the fix we covered. Now, I want to stress something, as I did last year. If by some chance we had one submission, and he'll be the one I cover, but if we talk about your fic, and you're not a submission, obviously, it is not because we're trying to make fun of you. This whole episode is about celebrating the fandom. We want to bring it up because we found it interesting, worth enough to talk about, and yeah, again, this is celebrating fandom, so try not to take any offense at this. I'm sorry if we took you by surprise, and yes, we covered your fan fiction, but hey, it's April and we're gonna have fun. So there.
If anybody feels bad, I write professionally, and I literally just looking through my closet the other day found a story that I wrote when I was 14 years old. And needless to say, it has been burned.
Ooh.
It was my first attempt at a fan fiction.
Oh yeah, I gotta say, I wasn't aware this was fan fiction, but now that I think about it, it probably was. Well, like when I was 12 or 13, I wrote a fan fiction involving the members of Destiny's Child, the girl group. So
Mhm,
you know what?
mhm.
We all do embarrassing things.
Oh my
Yes.
God, yeah.
You are brave for having put it out there, so thank you. Thank you for providing the world with your prowess.
Well, I'll admit one of my fan fictions probably still survives on the internet in the annals of fanfiction.net. It was on the game Rocket Knight Adventures. I don't even remember what I titled it.
I'm looking it up.
Oh,
Yeah,
dear.
well, I'm not going to help you find it more than that. So, have fun.
How many fan fiction could there be?
Oh yeah, only about 11 million or so.
I mean, we're talking about a trope that is pretty much older than time, but I don't think it's been really like recognized as a thing. Probably 50s or 60s.
I don't know. The Divine Comedy, Dante's Inferno.
Okay,
that
good
was
point.
very fan fiction-y. Dante's like, look at me! I get to meet all my famous poets and stuff in hell. The first edgy fan fiction.
Well, you have a point on that. So I was referring like to the earliest like Star Trek stuff. So, but that works too.
We went a little earlier.
And don't get me wrong, Jeremy and I are both huge Trek fans. So,
Hey.
Does anybody else want to be a red shirt?
so let's actually get to the fixing question. Now our order here, if I recall correctly, Drew is going to go first with his, then Katie, then Matthias, then myself, and Scars is running late. If he manages to come online, he'll go last. So. And speak of the devil, he shall appear. I just got a text from him. Give me 1 second. I'm going to try and bring him on. But Drew, go ahead and get started.
It's your boy. Anyway, so I did what I think everybody did. And I was like, people are going to pick some near the beginning. They're going to pick some near the end. So I went to page maybe 37, 38 of, 80 different fan fictions. And I found two that I thought were a great dichotomy. One is titled The Redwall Zone. And it starts with, "You are about to enter a world where mice are classified as vermin, and Dibbins rule over their elders. You are about to enter the Redwall Zone." I was like, oh, this is going to be amazing. A Twilight Zone spoof of Redwall. And it was amazing. And I would recommend it to everybody. I'm going to spam my contact list with this fan fiction. Because the entire basis of it is that this squirrel, and I'm not sure what he is. His name is Sir Kifri. Oh, he's a squirrel too. Sir Kifri F. Squirrel. They go to Redwall, but it's not Redwall. It's not Redwall. The Redwall they remember. There's no abbot. What's going on? They're in the Redwall Zone, and everybody's dead. You're dead. I'm dead. Who else is dead? Martin's dead. But Martin isn't dead because it's the Redwall Zone, so he's alive. It's basically just like a complete rip. It's entirely dialogue about very confused characters asking about like basic Redwall tropes and getting rebuffed because it's not Redwall anymore. And then there was a pretty vapid second page where an MMA fighter tried to take down a robot, and that was a part of this fiction. I didn't think it was Redwall, but then they mentioned that it was actually the Abyss. They replaced the Abyss with a robot. There was an MMA grappling fight. It was great. Everybody read this.
Wow, you didn't hold back on that
now.
one. You went for the craziest one you could find.
Oh
Bravo.
my god. I was hype. The names in this, one is named Bigio, and I think that's just awesome. There's Bigio, there's Borak. That sounds like a Jake's name. That's good. So many people tried to come up with like the edgiest names they could in theirs, trying to maybe not be realistic, but at least, give it that Jake's flair. But I think that most of Jake's names are pretty simple, just modifications of regular names. And this person got that correct. One person's name was Foolip. And then Robert and Foolip and Kifri. I was just like, I could see it though. I could see that being an actual Redwall name. Just like Sinker. Rest in peace, Sinker. Alright, so that was my kind of crazy one. I actually really did like it, as much as I took the piss out of it. But the second one was pretty darn good. It's called Wisp. It's by Calliope Mused. And the description is, "She is someone who did something somewhat important. When she haunts the infirmary of Redwall, she finds a mousemaid. She finds a mousemaid who may have the answers." And, oh, what's up?
Founds.
Founded. She founded the app. It's Germaine, but it's not Germaine.
Then?
It's a ghost. So essentially, this is a really cool. This is a how would you describe it? A technique that they use is they start with a character, and you have no clue who this character is because the character doesn't know who the character is. And
It's an expositional story. It's very clever.
Yes, I really, really like it. And it's all about her kind of coming to terms, not with the fact that she's dead. She's known she's been dead for a while. But the fact that she was a person and she was important to somebody, but not anymore. And there's no epic quest, there's no journey. It's just this sad, provocative piece, and it ends well. It ends very, very nicely. I just liked it. It was I can't say too much about it without spoiling it. The ending is paramount, I'll say. But it's well written. Whoever wrote it, Calliope, I think, knows what they're doing. They apparently write a lot of Teen Titans and Chronicles of Narnia, Immortals. Wow, they write a lot of oh my god. Okay, they've written a lot of fan fiction. They're doing it.
All right then.
If anyone wanted to comment on that, anyone else want to comment on that, or
Hit me with your disco stick.
No, I mean it's nice to see some other spirit actually involved except Martin or Gonf pretending to be Martin, because I'm pretty much sure that's becoming quasi-canon by this show.
I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. No, I genuinely like that approach. As far as the obvious Twilight Zone thing, I don't even know where to begin with that.
it
I mean,
was
They're all dead.
a Twilight Zone.
I mean, I might just have to do it just for the sheer craziness of everything you just described.
The MMA fight was definitely the best part of it.
Just
All right.
imagine somebody is jumping through the episode trying to find a specific moment, and then they come across the line. The MMA fight was the best part, and they're gonna stop and go, "What?"
Yo, that's Redwall though. We in it.
Yeah. If I had any voice for impressions, I would put the Ultimate Warrior in here. But I don't. And yes, I know that's WWE, not MMA. Shut up.
Hulk Hogan hosts Recorder on the Wall.
Jeremy is surprisingly good at those impressions, and he's not here. Darn it. So, anyway, I think Scars came on while we were waiting. While Drew was describing his two. Hi, Scars.
Hello.
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 So, give you a quick rundown. You missed the fun part, which was we played Is It Fan Fiction or Not? You have to, where we listened to 5 different clips of read fics or actual books, and KD is awesome apparently. So, but we already knew that. So how this is gonna work, Scars? Drew was just first. We're going down the line and people describing the fics they found. So you're gonna be after me.
Okay.
Which just leaves us to KD.
Yes. So hopefully my terrible, terrible internet will hold out because you guys have been breaking up a little. So if I get lost, let me know.
Will do.
Okay. So of course, because I'm a masochist, me deciding, oh, I recently lost a close friend. I'm gonna find a depressing fic about death, because I don't know. But I actually found it last year.
These wounds won't seem to heal.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh my god.
That's a very emo song. Anyway, so it's Martin in Dark Forest, right after his battle with Sarmina, and he runs into Rose, and at first they're happy to see each other, and then he decides that he would rather die than be separated from her again, and so she decides that she's going to be strong for him so that he can go back to the life that he made in Mossflower. And so when he wakes up again, Gonf was like, "Hey, are you okay? You were screaming a lot about roses." And Martin's like, Huh, roses? I have no idea why that would be. So,
Oh,
As we
Yeah.
all know, he has brain
Oh.
damage.
oh yeah.
oh God.
Yep. So that's a nice, happy fic.
Yeah, laugh about all we want. We all know it's canon. Now it's according to Legend of Luke. But yeah, I found this same one when I was looking for fics, and yeah, everything Katie just said. It's just like, whoa, this is actually not badly written.
Yeah, I thought it was very well written, and the descriptions were, I thought, really compelling. I'm not going to be able to pronounce this author's name, so I shall spell it. It is Sepulchrave, and then the
Word
that first word.
grown.
If anyone else does, feel free.
We lost you on the second word there, so let me try. Sepulchrave grown.
Yeah, that. Something like that.
Sepulchrave ground.
Close enough.
Sepulchre ground.
Yeah, I was trying to spell it, but apparently that all got cut out.
Is that a Harry Potter spell?
Not that I know of, but it could probably be.
Maybe for the emo club in the school. So
Sidebar, I just got a mug, and it's Harry, Ron, and Hermione, but they're cats.
Nice.
Yes,
So
I'm very happy about that.
So a more manic version of Potter Puppet Pals.
Yes.
What is that mysterious ticking noise?
Which is 12 years old now. Oh my
Yes,
god.
that is crazy.
Service. They don't. We should do a Redwall version of that.
What, and would Clooney come up after detonating the pipe bomb?
Yes.
Maybe. Yeah, okay, we're totally doing that now. I'm doing that.
Yeah, we might have to figure out a way to do that.
Matthias.
Let me guess.
I'm Matthias.
Yeah. And then
Let me guess, it's
Matthias
called-
and Martin could be Matthias Martin. They could be like arguing,
Yes.
like Harry Potter and Snape.
And it's called Harry Otter.
Yes, or something to that effect.
Well, Jeremy
I'm
isn't
sorry,
here,
that
so
was-
someone has to do the puns. So.
It was the obvious name.
Oh no, I'm not denying that. So, but keep that in mind, because the trailing game trailing challenge we're gonna give to the audience is gonna be more entertaining for that. So hold on to that. I believe that Matthias, that makes it your turn.
Okay, I found two that were rather interesting. One that was very short, and one that was very long. So
Holy
I'll keep
crap!
the-
Yeah, I'm looking at your word counts here.
Yeah, the short one is a little under 1,500 words. The long one around 38,000.
Sweet.
It's 42 chapters. I didn't read the whole thing. I was not going to read the whole thing.
So why don't you just
But
put
I'll get
that impetus towards National Novel Writing Month?
Right.
Good lord.
Bugs Bunny has been oh god.
Spoilers.
I'm sorry, I just read it.
Matthias, go ahead.
Okay, so the first one is simply called Be My Eyes by Kazuno Shun.
I skimmed over most of it. It's not bad.
No, it's actually really good for being basically what amounts to about half a chapter, like a scene or two from an actual Redwall book. After Krega, I don't want to spoil too much.
Something happens, yes.
She first shows up at Redwall. She's in the infirmary, and I'll leave it at that. Baby Rusano is trying to get into the infirmary, and all the creatures that are caring for him are like, no, come over here. You don't need to go over there. And he eventually ends up there, and Krega turns out to be totally cool with it. What I really liked was just how much the characters felt like themselves from the books. The author did a very good job in capturing their basic essence. Even if the dialogue wasn't quite right, it hit all the right emotional notes, and it left me wanting more. I wanted to see what happened. It ends just as Craig is like, oh, he's here. He's at the foot of my bed, and yeah, he'll be able to help me going forward. And then it just stops, and it's like, no, I wanted to know more. The premise was good. This was a good intro. This was chapter 1. I wanted 5 more, please. No.
Have to write it yourself.
Yeah, so 4.5 out of 5 strawberry cream tarts.
What happens to the remaining half?
Sorry, I was hungry. I got hungry.
Oh, okay.
So the other one that I read, Bugs Bunny in Mossflower. Yes.
Why?
That's just.
I assume he took a left turn at Albuquerque this time.
Yes,
I'm
literally.
I'm not going to ask how. I'm not going to ask how. I'm only asking why.
Because fanfic said so. That's why.
Pretty much,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yes. So this is by Weather, as in like storm, rain, clouds, but with 2 W's.
It's so long.
Yeah, 42 chapters. I read 5. I was not going to read more than that. It seemed like a really bad idea. And
I mean, even Looney Tunes is around a 7 or 8 minute cartoon, so.
yeah. But the basic rundown is Bugs Bunny takes a wrong turn at Albuquerque, ends up in Mossflower Woods outside Cotier, and it's basically Bugs just inserted into the plot of the book Mossflower. So in the first 5 chapters run up to the prison break section, as the prison break is just about to happen, and that's where I stopped, because it's like, okay, I have some really good ideas about how I want to talk about it. It starts out with just a straight rehash in chapter 1 of the beginning of Mossflower, with Bugs basically taking over the role of Gonf and showing up at the Stickles house and basically doing the whole how many lumps would you like routine on the guards that show up. So, I mean, that's one of my favorite Bugs Bunny cartoons with Pete Puma, and it's just like, to see that enacted made me laugh so hard. I think I laughed for like a good minute solid. But then it takes a weird turn. Martin gets captured, taken to Cotier, and the story takes some liberties, shall we say, with the way the actual book happens. I don't know if this is because they wanted to avoid copyright issues, following the story too closely, but weird things happened. Just for example, when Sarmina breaks Martin's sword, she doesn't put it against the door jamb and snap it with her paws. She instead uses her own sword to cut it in half. And it's like, that didn't happen. I'm not okay with that.
And go on.
Okay. And Bugs wasn't even in the chapter at all, which seemed okay for a fanfic. So, okay, you're taking the regular Redwall route of jumping between character plots. I can get that. But the dialogue was just strange.
Can I read a section from chapter 41?
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, Lord.
All right. He was covered with cuts and bruises. The instant Martian flew down to the ground and stood over him.
Wait,
Suddenly it fell down. To Gonf's surprise, the instant Martian was writhing in pain on the forest floor, and its body was dissolving. He looked up. Columbine, the pretty mouse from Lonehenge, was standing there, holding a gun.
Wait, what?
All right.
I love this.
I'll get to that.
When did Duck Dodgers come into this?
That took a turn.
So jumping down to chapter 4-ish, you see that Bugs and Gonf have been raiding Cotier's larders all winter long. Martin's just been chilling in a cell, becoming emaciated. So when you make it to chapter 5 and they finally make it to Brock Hall, who's there but Foghorn Leghorn and Pepe Le Pew? I'm not kidding.
Wow.
Well, now it's just
And-
getting ridiculous.
Yeah,
Now it's getting
Argular-
ridiculous? Now?
Argular has been replaced by Henry the Hawk. You know, the little chicken hawk that's like, I'm a chicken hawk. I'm going to eat a chicken. Who's apparently now full grown, and Foghorn Leghorn taught him that vermin are actually chickens, giving him his motivation for eating vermin and attacking Cotier.
I
Oh
have
my
several
goodness.
questions.
So, by the time I
Not the
finished
least
chapter
of
5,
which
it
is
was-
why.
Yes. I realized this is just okay. The series moments that don't have any Looney Tunes characters are bland and forgettable, and they deviate too much from the story. The parts with the Looney Tunes characters are spot on in the spirit of those characters. They are hilarious. It's insane, and I love it.
I'm glad they just didn't put Tiny Toons into this. Oh, Lord. Okay, then.
So I'm left wanting to read the whole thing. 3.5 out of 5 wooden mallets.
Fair enough.
I'd like to see a part where like Bugs Bunny has a dummy of gingivier made of like dynamite sticks, and he just hands it to Sarmina. And...
Nice.
For all we know,
Or-
that could happen.
Wow.
Maybe if Ashleg falls off a cliff. I don't know.
Just a little spinny running an air thing, and then holds up a sign. Yikes!
That leads just to my fix, and thankfully there are a lot more, how can I put this?
Grounded?
Grounded? Yeah. Both of these are, like I mentioned earlier, I read the same one. Katie read it. I'm not covering that because she already did a good job. We have one that's pretty standard with a dash of shipping. I'll get to that. And then the second one is kind of what I wish we'd see more fan fictions do, and that's kind of what I talked about last year with the flip narrative. But we'll get to that. First one, A Night of Reunion by... I don't even know.
Yeah.
I don't need... I mean...
Mamoi.
Yeah, we'll go with that, because I'm not going to...
Mamui.
It sounds Pacific Islander.
So this is set during Lost Flower during the final act. It's the night after Martin has to have his crew have freed the wood ship and her slaves from vermin hands. Salimbesto, while happy to see Martin again, is agog at the fact that he can only taste freedom, thinking he would die chained to an oar. And basically, it's more focused on Tim's feelings than Martin, and there's just the writers just hinting at the whole, well, maybe Tim wants to be more than platonic friends. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen when it comes to that kind of thing. It's nice and small. It's got no real complaints because the series doesn't really go into any, I guess, non-traditional pairings. The shipping isn't hard. I do like Tim's sense of confusion as it's clear he doesn't know what to expect next. He's just not, pushing an oar for all hours of the day anymore. Martin's happiness at finding at least one member of the tribe is palpable, but there is no, where they kind of look at each other and realize, yeah, everyone we love and know is dead.
Yeah.
Especially Grandma and Luke. So, and I'm not going to hate on it. It's decent enough for what it is. That just leads to the second one. And I talked a lot last year on one of my favorite things in modern fiction has come around is the quote-unquote flip narrative. Now, the type I described last year is not the type I read. The type I described last year is where the story literally shifts to another point of view, showing that the villain maybe wasn't the villain the whole time. This is very popular with the book and then later play Wicked. This even Stephanie Meyer kind of was tapping into this, where she was trying to write a Twilight book from Edward's perspective, and later her own Rule 63 version of the first book, because why the heck not?
I read that.
Rule
I did.
63?
Oh, you poor... You broke up there, Katie, considerably.
Oh, I just said I read that.
Yeah. But I actually generally like it when a creator, or even 80 years down the line, is willing to re-examine. Hey, rarely does any characters set out to be the bad guys. They're always, no one starts out trying to be the bad guy. Most people try to do the right things. Now, there's obvious exception to this in Redwall because it's primarily a kid series, and we acknowledge that. And Clooney, yeah, he kind of liked bloodlust and ruling over everything. The fic I covered last year tried to rewrite from Clooney's point of view, and while it was a valiant attempt, it didn't really do a good enough job. This is the other version of flip narrative, where you take what could be a hero character and turn their best trait about themselves into something chilling. This is Lord Martin by Fuzzhugs. Yes, that's the name they gave themselves.
I read it. I skimmed over most of it.
That section 4 is really long.
It's quite a fascinating idea.
Yeah. The premise here is that in the wake of Rose's death, and we can totally talk about it now, right the last year. In the wake of Rose's death,
Rose
Martin
died?
I'm sorry, what?
I can't.
Spoilers!
I'm sorry, Drew. You broke up dramatically. I didn't.
Yeah,
get
you
that.
did.
Good.
So let's try that again. In the wake of Rose's death. Nothing? Okay. All right, I'm going to move on.
Rose died?
Yeah, I gave you a perfect opportunity to make it comedic, but you just have to keep on interrupting me, don't you?
I'm not sorry.
Yeah, I know you're not. In the wake of Rose's death, Martin, instead of taking the hero's route where he decides to leave Noonvale alone and never mention them again and heads south to where he eventually would begin with Mossflower, decides, hey, maybe Battering had the right idea for the wrong reasons. I'm going to protect everybody by force.
It seems to be explained all that at the very end, which is, a little bit interesting choice of writing style, but...
Mm-hmm. This is broken up into 3 small parts and then a 4th, much larger part. The first 3 parts basically start with Martin already ruling the Northlands where Marshank was, and trying to convince other local groups to join his noble cause, whether by accepting his benevolent rule or not. And it literally leads to Brome walking into his camp and basically saying, "What the hell are you doing?" Brome calls him out pretty hardcore, and Martin surprisingly lets him live. He could have killed him. Just saying. But he agrees with Brome that I will not touch Noonvale, but don't you dare get in my way, kind of thing. So he basically says, hey, that's a nice mossflower wood you got to the south. I think I'll take it. He basically leads his own troops and allies with the then rebel faction of Coram, and takes down Sarmina with almost ludicrous ease. It's not even nearly the challenge it was in the main Mossflower book. And then he's like, this was a good place to build a castle. I'm going to do it. So he rebuilds, using old and newly hewn stones from that famous quarry, he rebuilds Castle Cotier as the, quote, Crimson Fortress. Okay, Martin, you can do better than that. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's epic.
And makes his seat of power there. And Salamandastron kind of takes notice. And, they act. But Martin actually challenges them at the Mountain Fortress and wins. Now he's taking down he takes down interim Badger Lord Hadron and wins. And he takes the mountain.
Ooh. It's Hadron, like the molecule accelerator.
I mean, it's a fan created name. There's no pronunciation there. So there. But yeah, the bulk of the story, that's all the first 3 parts is what I described. The bulk of the story focuses on, and tell me if this sounds familiar, the daughter of Gonf, a Genevieve, who ends up in Martin's jail cells, escapes to the South Lake Island, which we haven't seen yet, where the remnant of the Long Patrol in exile resides. She trains with them, builds a new rebel faction, and takes down Martin. And the Crimson Fortress is rechristened as the Redstone Abbey. Okay.
All right.
But this is fairly good. Let me put it this way. The first 3 portions are very well written because they're short, they're to the point, even if some part of me would like a longer point of view. Like the Badger Lord of Salmanstron reacting to, yeah, good news, Sarmina's totally dead, guys. Bad news, we got someone worse who's actually competent.
Oh dear.
Yeah, Martin is scarily competent in this. And it honestly, it really rings to me that if we're lucky that in the series proper, and Brian Jakes would never write this, that a Badger Lord doesn't decide to take the Long Patrol and take Mossflower by force. Because they totally could. Based on just this. But the bulk of the main story, it's good, but it's long. It tends to drag out, and where the first 3 portions were short, even if you wanted some more material, this really takes a lot longer to go through. And, I mean, we all know where it's going, but I thought the pacing could have been a little bit better here. Props to this writer. I do like this fic. At least. So, those were my 2.
Nice. Yeah, that's a really interesting concept.
Scars, I believe that leads you.
Okie dokie. All right, so I'll be honest, I'm a little bit biased about this one because I wrote it. But my fellow writer, I believe that this is a good one that people would probably enjoy. It's called The Unlikeliest. It is it's 10 chapters long. I don't remember exactly how many words, but we have this set at the very end of the series chronologically, with the mentality, at least what we saw, as the series continued in time. It seemed like the quote-unquote racism or speciesism, whatever you want to call it, got worse and worse between woodlanders and vermin. And we decided to take a look at it through a different kind of view, and while making a story kind of combating that. We tried our best to make it sound like an actual Redwall story, like it could fit into the series, but obviously that's up to reader's judgment. But it focuses on 2 characters, an otter named Burian and a ferret named Ravax. Not necessarily a gray character as much as confused. So Ravax is definitely a vermin, and we make that pretty clear during the series. And it goes on through the story, eventually, ultimately coming into a friendship between Burian and Ravax, even though it was far from a friendship at the beginning. But because of their background, Ravax never fit fully into vermin, and Burian never fit fully into woodlanders and people of his kind, as was apparent when he came into contact with a Otterholt. Ravax came back, warned them of a horde led by Jarl, and they didn't believe her, and they started to mistrust Burian. And as it continued, Jarl ends up having plans far bigger than most other villains usually do. Ultimately, believing that by taking over Redwall, he would be able to create a safe place for vermin to grow and thrive rather than woodlanders, because it's his mentality that vermin are the way they are because they're forced into that situation. and it concludes with Burian and Ravax going off, leaving their own kinds to do whatever they want. Burian forsaking Redwall, and Ravax forsaking the Vermin. So that's basically a synopsis of that.
I love friendship fics, so I was all about this one.
Did you? All right.
Hmm?
Nothing.
You broke up there.
Oh, I just said I
No,
love.
Scars
I
broke
love-
up. Yeah.
Okay.
The best part about this fan fiction is that you used proper grammar.
Yes.
Proper
Someone who
grammar.
has
That's a
Proper
beautiful
grammar. I have recently been doing some freelance editing, and reading through the actual fan fiction on fanfiction.net made me want to tear my own eyebrows out, hair by
Ow.
hair.
Matthias, I can beat you. I've taught before. High schoolers.
This took 2.5 years to write. We wrote it, and then we rewrote it, and then we edited it, and then we had someone read over it and edit it. And so we believe it turned out pretty good.
You've done 160% more work than any of the romance writers I have read recently on Amazon. No joke. I could talk about that for a while.
Good.
Go on.
I have no doubt about that. So that's all the fics we covered. We might touch on a few more in part 2, but this is where we get to challenge the audience. And because we're not masochist enough to ourselves, we want to share some wonderful ideas. So, here's some ideas of rewriting common media in the style of Redwall. Matthias, this was your baby. I'm going to let you take this.
Okay. After reading Bugs Bunny and Mossflower, which I think is probably going to be the best out of all the crossover fics I could find on fanfic.net, it's like, okay, if I was to simply choose an idea and rewrite it, what would I do? And then it was like, okay, maybe I wouldn't do that. Can I just come up with a clever name? And, well, you'll see. The Badger Lord's New Groove.
How did we get here? Well, I don't know. By all means, it doesn't make sense.
Shut up.
Dr. Shrew.
Okay, I don't know if it's a Doctor Who or a Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
Who?
Doctor Who.
I was
Okay.
thinking Doctor Who.
Both.
Monty Adder.
Asmodeus Flying Circus?
Yeah. Full Metal Herbalist.
That was pretty clever.
Spider Mouse and his what do you want to call it? Patron, Iron Mole.
Nice.
Avatar, the Last Hairbender.
How did I know that was coming?
Squirrellock Holmes.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh,
I love that. I love that.
I like it. I like it a lot.
My Sparrow Academia.
I'm
Over
not
the
as-
Hedgehog.
Oh,
No.
man.
Is that where just Ambrose Sparks falls asleep in the garden and people in the demons start hopping over him?
I would read that.
Maybe spoilers for Rackety Tam, probably not. Teenage Mutant Ninja Walking Stones.
Which I have not read, so I don't know.
Not a very big spoiler.
Breaking Badger. Diary of a Wimpy Dibbin. Total Recall.
Get your butt to Southern Man Distraught.
For Whom the Bell Voles.
Okay, we're keeping that because every time there's a jerk vole from now on, yeah.
Okay, last one. Shrew the Looking Glass.
Shrew the Looking Glass.
No, there's one here you didn't cover, and because it would be too easy, and I would probably hurt my throat if I tried to imitate Christian Bale. But Bat Mouse.
Yes.
But he has to do the bat echo thing where he repeats the last word or two that he just said.
That he just said.
Yeah. I'm Bat Mouse. Mouse.
Okay, Martin. Yeah. Okay, Who bumped Martin in the head again? Come on.
I am the knight.
Yo, Pete.
Yeah.
Did you ever play my my Redwall jokes on the podcast yet?
We did. Yes.
I'm so happy about that.
Yeah, I'll just delete that.
Thank you. I work in a newsroom, so potty mouth is 10 out of 10 pretty much all day, every day. Rapid fire.
I work education, so away
Same.
from students it is too.
I work in the courtroom, so it depends on the day.
Katie just drops it right in the middle of it. The bailiff's just like, you okay there?
Anyway, so if anybody has, any ideas, any of our listeners, for, something along these lines that's just a terrible pun, or actually turning one of these puns into an actual fan fiction, please send it in. We'd love to see that.
Please, please, please.
I just thought of one.
Okay.
Short Shrew Kit. I'm looking at my movie titles and I'm making that off a Short Circuit.
Oh, yeah.
Oh wow, I haven't watched those movies in ages.
People can submit fan art, too.
The Quiet Mouse.
Yeah, but then you mean you'd have to resurrect John Wayne, and we all know he's a jerk. So.
We could do the Hunger Games with all hairs. Because,
Oh,
they're
no.
There were
hungry.
no survivors.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Written
Perilous
from the perspective of a raspberry tart.
Yes.
It would be a horror novel.
Something with Maze Runner or something.
Quarry Runner.
Yeah, there you go.
We're not allowed to come up with these ourselves.
Probably not. Anyway, well, I think that rounds us out for the second, at least this first part of the fan fiction special. I'm still trying to keep secret what we're doing next time, which we're going to record in a week.
It's
I
a
mean, they all
mystery.
know, but the fans don't know. Ha
It's a mystery.
But wait, if these episodes are going out at the same time, won't they already know through time travel magic?
ha. Oh, right.
Wow.
Unless I should release them separately.
Maybe like with a day in between or something.
Or a week. We'll see.
Or a week. Yeah.
It's difficult
Whatever.
because I'm moving in a week, and I'm like, I'm screaming. So.
Very stressful. I understand.
Yeah.
Well, Jeremy couldn't be here, so you can voice the work on him.
Mwahaha.
I like that idea. Although I kind of really want to talk to possibly someone we're coming out next show. I almost blurted it out there.
People, you want to talk to other people, humans.
Yes.
Spoilers.
Oh, sorry. I spoiled that there would be humans. My bad.
Yes.
That's twice in a row that I've spoiled the fan fiction episode.
Yeah. You should
I'm
feel
gonna go to
bad.
I'm going to go to my corner of shame now.
No, it's okay. All right. So, And that should just wrap us up. And then we'll, folks, yeah, I think I will do a week release. So we may see most of all of these people in 1 week when we have other people on. I'm not saying who. And yeah, we'll go from there. So you can find us on the internet at, almost said frustrated podcast, at recorderonthewall.com, where we have links to our iTunes store presence, our Google Play store, as well as links to where we are active on the Red Wolf subreddit, our Eulalia, as well as the Red Wolf forum. And we also have a Twitter at ROTPod.
ROTW.
Shoot. ROTW pod. And that is also our most common email we check. rotwpod@gmail.com. So, I'm your Papa Abbott Pete.
I'm Adam.
I'm Katie.
I'm here.
I'm Scars.
I'm
You're
Matthias.
also Drew. Sorry, Matthias, say it again.
I'm Matthias.
Yay!
That's all, folks.
I'm also
We'll see if-
Matthias.
No, you're not. I'm Matthias. It's me.
Dance,
not you.
puppets, dance!
Us by Jordan Peele.
We'll see you in a week, folks.
Bye.
Bye.